Hey everyone, welcome to BrickVault. Today in front of us is every single LEGO Star Wars Bounty Hunter figure ever made. I'm going to be doing a review of this collection, going through the figures chronologically from when they were released, what sets they came out in, and how much they are currently worth. This video is an update from our first version of this video that came out 3 years ago. Back then there were 34 figs, and now there are 50. And if you stick around to the very end, I will let you know how much this collection costs cumulatively to get all the bounty hunters from Star Wars. I already have a video that's totally updated for all the Boba Fetts and Jango Fett, so I'm going to be going through these guys pretty quick in this video. And if you want to know more about the specific details of each of those figures, you can check out the link in the description below, which basically is me doing the same type of video, but just talking a bit more about Bobas and Jangos. But anyways, let's get started. There's a lot to get through. In the year 2000, this is the first Boba Fett. He's one of the very first Star Wars figures ever made. He came out in 3 sets, and brand new, he is decently collectible, coming in at around $15. In general, this is a relatively expensive collection, just letting you guys know right off the bat. Up next is one of my personal favorite minifigures of all time, the original Jango Fett. He's molded in a color that almost no figure has ever been made in before, and he comes with original cowboy pistols and the old gray. Just all the pieces for him are awesome. And aside from one single vendor in Canada, nobody is selling this guy for less than $100. Extremely collectible, definitely one of the most rare in the collection for sure. And in the same set he came out in, the young Boba Fett is here. He's got relatively simple prints, but just by association, I feel he is still pretty collectible, coming in at around 10 or 11 bucks. And this figure I honestly think is more rare than the Jango Fett. Zam West from 2002 appeared in the original Bounty Hunter Speeder Chase set, has some very strange face prints, and I think you'd be extremely lucky to get this figure any less than $25. Frankly, I think the printing on the front of the body here is maybe some of the best printing we ever got from this year, but thus is the nature of LEGO Star Wars figures. They were always pushing the limit, and that is definitely the case when it comes to the next figure. This is the Cloud City Boba Fett. Frankly, it's just one of the most rare and elusive LEGO minifigures on the planet, coming out in the original Cloud City set. He's the first guy to have any arm printing, and though LEGO does it now, they decided to not do it for several years after releasing this figure and the next one, just because I think it was too expensive and it didn't really make sense for them to put all this extra effort into the fig. I'm looking at the BrickLink price. There's one listing for $400 and everything goes up from there. He is the most rare and expensive figure of this collection, and one of the most rare and expensive figures just out there in general. But we're moving on once again to yet another really interesting, wonderful figure. We don't talk about Greedo with the arm printing as much. Everybody just talks about Boba. But in 2003, Greedo also had full arm printing. This is also something that you don't see even today. They don't ever do the full sleeve unbroken like they've done with this character, but it makes sense for what his jacket looks like, and for that reason we're just not going to have a better Greedo. There's also some really interesting printing on his face, but he appeared in 2 sets, technically one a year later, so he's not nearly as rare, but definitely an extremely unique figure. There is no other LEGO figure with an arm completely printed on the side the way it is here. I'd say he goes for around $35 or $40, and then we're doing a bit of a time jump here to the next Boba Fett. He's like the original, only light bluish gray printing. He's 10 bucks. Funny that that seems cheap all of a sudden compared to the other figs. And in the same year, we get our first version of Dengar. He appeared in the famous Bounty Hunter lineup scene from The Empire Strikes Back, and he's the first of these figures to get put into a LEGO set. Decent enough armor printing. It kind of reminds me of how they did Snowtroopers back then. He is around $8 or $9, and it's funny that he's just got a regular minifigure smiley face. That's definitely my favorite part about this fig. Here's an example of another overly produced LEGO minifigure from 2006. This is IG-88, but they have chrome sprayed every piece of his body here. They simply don't do this anymore. There are certain pieces here that you will never see chrome sprayed ever again, like that clip that goes around the top of the body. But I, for one, am glad that they did it. It's not even accurate, honestly, to how IG-88's color looks, but it's just cool. Surprisingly, this is only a $3 figure, and then 2009 gives us a Boba Fett from a watch set that has slightly redder brown on his face. That's his only distinctive feature that makes him different, roughly $10. And then 2010 brings us us the first Bosk. He's got a specially molded head, great print for the torso, and of course he would have benefited from printing on the front of the legs, but I honestly can't complain when it comes to this figure. He is 15 bucks, and then this is our first modern version of Boba Fett. He's got now a separate jetpack piece and a helmet. Also, of course, the printing for him has changed. He's got a shoulder cloth. He's roughly $15, and then we get our first version of Cad Bane. Everything on this minifigure is exclusive just to him. He appeared in 2 sets, but the print for his body, the mold for his breathing apparatus, of course the print on his face, and the mold for his hat all belong just to Cad Bane, and it's pretty rare that you see so much dedication to a single figure that just came out in 2 sets to have everything made for him totally just exclusive to him. He's about a $10 figure, and then Shahan Alma, another bounty hunter in one of the same sets, is here. He's got that robotic arm, which is nice. Also, once again, exclusive facial and torso printing for this guy. Just not as cool as Cad Bane. It's really a popularity contest at this point. For collectability, he is around $4. And then I don't think I included this black assassin droid in the first version of the bounty hunter video. He actually first appeared in 2009, but contextually in this Cad Bane set, kind of seems like he's another bounty hunter. So anyways, here he is. He's just a $1 fig. And then finishing off this year, let's go to an extremely rare figure. This is the white Boba Fett. I'm not going to get into the context of why he is white. You should watch the other video. I'm going to say he's around 85 or 90 bucks if you want to get him brand new in that poly bag. And then 2011 brings us Aura Singh. And they did an excellent job portraying her in minifigure form with that kind of ridiculous hairpiece that sticks up and curves around. That's an extremely fun piece to use, actually. And this is the first time we get leg printing back on a bounty hunter for quite a long time. She is around 6 or 7 bucks. From the same set is Embo. He's got a cool crossbow. And I think one of the most intimidating or creepy facial prints that we've gotten from any of the figs from Star Wars. But this guy's a little bit more collectible, maybe around 12 bucks roughly on average. And then once again from the same set is the Zabrak Suji. She doesn't have the piece that goes around the top of her head, just prints to show the horns. Kinda dates her a bit, and also the negative space for the hips aren't filled in with a darker red, and you can't even tell that they've done that. There's just the printing ends there on the side of the torso piece. All that and the fact that she still has a facial print that represents something that came from the TV show and not really a minifigure art style is really going to keep her dated. Personally, I like it when you have figures like this, but I can understand some not appreciating it so much. She is roughly $3, and now we are looking at an updated version of Dengar. He is essentially better in every way. His face isn't wrapped up so much, which makes for a really nice, interesting facial expression. I feel like it could get used for a patient in an insane asylum or something. And the armor print detailing is one of the best prints, I think, from this year. It's just really, really dynamic. There's a little bit of shading, which is nice. And I think it's an art style that the modern Lego art style nowadays is a little bit closer to. He appeared in the massive Super Star Destroyer set, so he's like 12 to 15 bucks. So did this IG-88. The only thing exclusive to this guy is the print for his little eyeball sensor pieces on the top of his head. And believe it or not, that actually makes him roughly $8 on the BrickLink market, which means that tiny little piece, just the top head piece, is probably like a $6 or $7 piece. 2012 gave us a Boba Fett from a Comic-Con collectibles set. He doesn't have a jetpack and he's got a balaclava face. 12 bucks. Here's another updated Boba, just like the last one. He's got printing on the legs and toes, which is a new feature. The shoulder cape has changed colors. The expression is a little different. $8 or $9. And then because I didn't include this version of Princess Leia last time, this is the Bosch Princess Leia. Technically, this is the disguise of a bounty hunter that tried to kill her, so I suppose it does count. And she's actually very rare and collectible, a wonderfully detailed figure. And she looks a little bit out of place, and by out of place, I mean it looks like they could have produced her right now in 2020 and everyone would have said, oh, that's actually a really good looking fig. But it still is a 2012 release. She is 30 bucks minimum if you wanted to get her brand new. And now let's start the year 2013 2013 off with another bounty hunter disguise figure. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi disguised as Rako Hardeen. The face is so weird, I simply cannot get over it. There's blood on it, which is not very common for a Lego minifig, and it's also the Clone Wars art style, so it's just a double whammy. He just doesn't feel like he fits in. It almost looks like he could be a fake figure made by like a third-party company at this point. Anyways, the print for the body is decent enough. He is around $5. The same set gave us a second version of Cad Bane. I like this guy better, even though he doesn't have the respirator piece. In general, the body just feels a little bit more open and a little bit cleaner here with the prints for the torso and everything, and the color combination. He's listed somewhere around $6 or $7. And then here is Jango from the Corporate Alliance Tank Droid set. He's the first officially updated Jango in a long time. People really liked it. He is minimum $22, but you'd be lucky to get him for closer to $30 in the States. Here's a minifigure officially labeled Bounty Hunter from the Jek 14 Stealth Starfighter set. Kind of an interesting color combination. Definitely a strange helmet for sure. I think that's his most unique part about him. He's listed around $10. And now we have the Malcolm Reynolds minifigure. Wonderful detailing for overalls, like the old-timey pistol piece that he's holding. Oh, wait a second. This guy doesn't actually count in the collection. What are you doing here? Sorry about that, guys. What I meant to say is the next figure is Spike Spiegel. With all of his skill and insight, it's hard to believe that this guy almost never catches a break when going for a bounty. Sorry, guys. I meant to say every Star Wars bounty hunter minifigure ever made. And then at the end of this year, the Advent calendar came out. We have the Santa Jango Fett. I still think that this is maybe the best exclusive fig to have ever come from any of the Advent calendars. They spent quite a long time detailing this guy and making him appropriate for the holiday season, $8 or $9. And then technically in the Advent calendar, there was another young Boba Fett who is updated from the previous version. Many agree he's a little too blue, but not a bad looking fig, roughly $3 or $4. Greedo is back. His face mold is the same. The head color has changed and the body print is completely different. The only improvement is the print for the legs. Frankly, I think the torso and of course arm printing from the original guy is better, but this Greedo isn't bad. He is $6 or $7, and now we're looking at the UCS Slave 1 Boba Fett. For quite a long time, his body printing was exclusive. Now just his facial print is. Still though, he's a pretty collectible guy coming in at around $30. Also from 2015 is the updated white Boba Fett. The Ralph McQuarrie design is much easier to see, a lot more detail included this time around. Decently collectible, a little bit over $15 I'd say if you wanted to get him brand new. And then 2016 gets us another Boba. He also appeared in 2019 in another set. No arm printing, a regular Stormtrooper face, still pretty darn good body details, probably one of the better Bobas to get if you wanted to get a good looking one that's cheap. He's like $8. That's cheap for a Boba. And now we've got the updated version of Dengar. Honestly, I don't think his torso printing is really better than the one that we saw before. Facial print is about on par with the last one, and ultimately he doesn't really seem like much of an improvement even though he came out several years later. Less than $2 asking price brand new. And then 2017 gives us a Boba Fett with the light yellow or tan hands. I like this version of the guy. His appearance is slightly different because he actually looked a little different in the Desert Skiff scene, and that's the set he came out in. He's around $10. And now here is another updated Jango. He looks a little better with that darker gunmetal torso piece. Many agree this is the best looking version of the guy in terms of accuracy. He came out in a pretty collectible set. He's like $35 to $40 brand new. And then this is the young Boba that came out in the same set, roughly $10. A slightly better look for him, I think. And then this was a really fun set to get. The Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike Battle Pack came out with another version of IG-88. He's fine, honestly, not that different from other versions we see of him later. But the cool part is that we get an updated Bosk. The toe printing is great. The lighter yellow really works to contrast with the olive green on the body here. Because he's a battle pack fig, they're really just not that expensive. He's like $3 or less, but definitely some amazing prints. And then we get the ever coveted Forlom. Everybody has been wanting Forlom and Zuckuss. This is the first of the duo that we get from this battle pack. He's like $2 or less if you wanted to get him brand new. He appeared in another set later down the line, but the prints for him and the mold for his head is pretty darn awesome. 2018 brings us another Boba Fett with arm printing. He's almost exactly like the UCS version. The torso is slightly different. He comes with a Stormtrooper head, and he appeared in the Cloud City set, so still not that easy to get this version of the guy. He's like over $20 brand new if you wanted to get him, maybe like $25. And then here is another updated version of Greedo from 2018. The pocket print on his vest is better, and everything else about him is kind of similar to the last version. Maybe the print for his legs works a little bit better. The sparkle in his eyes is slightly brighter, and he is a $5 to $6 figure. This IG-88 is almost exactly like the other one we saw before, but the clip on his back has one less stud, technically making him a different build and therefore a different figure. Less than $1 to get brand new. And then in the latest Slave 1 set, we got Zuckuss. He's got an exclusively molded head, special prints for his torso and gown piece. In the set, Forlom came out again. According to BrickLink, he's not a different version, but when I put them together, the print behind the eyes is clearly darker in the second version. I can't tell if that's intentional or unintentional. Maybe someone can confirm or not confirm that. Technically, according to the buying and selling market, there is no difference. So anyways, I've included it in this collection as a different fig, but who knows, maybe I just got a different version of the guy. The end of 2019 gave us the Mandalorian, everybody's favorite new bounty hunter. My guess is that in this year we're probably gonna get an updated version of him with different armor prints, but this original version of him is pretty cool looking. The set is still out, so he's not as collectible as you might think. Still $12 minimum if you wanted to get him with that cape piece on top of it. That's kind of crazy considering the set is still out. And then the last 4 figures are all of the Mandalorians from the Mandalorian Battle Pack. Technically, they were functioning as bounty hunters, or some of them were doing bounty jobs, or maybe all of them were. Just to be safe, they're all technically bounty hunters here in this collection. Each of them sells for around $3. And there you go. These are all of the LEGO Star Wars Bounty Hunter minifigures ever made back together again. That is 50 figures in total, and this collection is around $1,200, not including shipping. Shipping costs are extremely difficult to estimate. It's cheaper if you're buying figures in Europe, more expensive if you're buying them in the States, and significantly more expensive if you're outside of either of those two areas. It's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. Canada sometimes gets some good deals, but yeah, if you wanted to buy and order all of these figures, you'd be looking at a minimum of $1,500, I think. If we were to get any other figures to attach to this collection for the future, an updated version of Zam Wessel would be pretty nice. IG-11 is technically on the way, though he's not really that different from IG-88. And there you go. That's all of the LEGO Star Wars Bounty Hunter minifigures ever made. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Remember, if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.